Foreign Office has confirmed that a member of the five-nation summit BRICS blocked Pakistan's participation in a dialogue for non-member states held virtually on the sidelines of the event last week. The BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, brings together five of the largest developing countries in the world, representing 41% of the global population, 24% of the global GDP, and 16% of the global trade. This year, China is hosting the summit in its capacity as the chair of the group. It is believed that the country blocking participation was India, as both do not share a pleasant relationship and are embroiled in disputes, most prominently over the territory of Kashmir, that go back decades. The Foreign Office said Islamabad hopes that the future engagement of the organization would be based on the principles of inclusivity, keeping in view the overall interests of the developing world and in a manner that is devoid of narrow geopolitical considerations. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan has urged his supporters, particularly the country's youth and women, to immediately register for Tiger Force to mobilize masses as Punjab heads for by-polls.
मैं आप सबको आज दावत दे रहा हूँ। आपने रजिस्टर करना है, आपने हमारी टाइगर फोर्स ज्वाइन करनी है, हमने जो अब अगला हमारी फेज़ है इलेक्शंस की, आपने हमारी पूरी मदद करनी है, आपने अवाम को डोर टू डोर जाके निकालना है।
Repeating allegations of a foreign conspiracy to oust his government, the former Prime Minister claimed political leaders enslaved by the West had been imposed on Pakistan.
हमारे मुल्क में एक बैरूनी मुदाखलत के ज़रिए, एक साजिश के ज़रिए, एक ऐसी हुकूमत हमारे ऊपर मुसल्लत की गई है, जो पाकिस्तान के वो मुजरिम हैं जो 30 सालों से इस मुल्क का खून चूस रहे थे। ये जब माजी में भी पावर में थे, 30 साल ये दोनों ख़ानदान पावर में थे, तो उन्होंने बड़ी झुक के बैरून मुल्क की गुलामी की थी। ये फिर इसलिए लाए गए हैं क्योंकि एक बाहर का एजेंडे के ऊपर ये चले।
He invited the masses to join the Tiger Force and prepare to mobilize the masses for the next general elections to defeat his political rivals through the ballot box.
ये जो इलेक्शंस आ रहे हैं, अभी बाय इलेक्शंस आ रहे हैं, सब ने आपने इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करना है और उसके बाद इंशाल्लाह जब जनरल इलेक्शन होता है, आपने सब ने ये जो करप्ट माफिया ऊपर हमारे बैरूनी ताकत ने मुसल्लत किया है, हमने इसके खिलाफ अवाम को निकाल के इलेक्शंस के लिए इनको शिकस्त देनी।
Later, the former Prime Minister announced holding peaceful protests across the country against the alleged US regime change conspiracy and the NRO engineered to save 1100 billion rupees corruption. The Lahore High Court has instructed the Election Commission of Pakistan to notify PTI members on 5 reserved seats of the Punjab Assembly that fell vacant following the deseating of 25 PTI lawmakers over defection. The PTI had filed a petition in the Lahore High Court on 28th May requesting it to direct the electoral watchdog to notify the 5 new MPAs and summon them personally. Subsequently, the High Court had given the ECP a deadline for 2nd June to decide the matter. The Commission had decided that the notification would be stayed until the by-elections were held in the province on 17 July. The Punjab Assembly session convened on the orders of the Governor will resume its proceedings at Ewan Iqbal after a 2-day break in the afternoon today. In its sitting on Friday, the House had passed 2 bills clipping certain powers of the Speaker and of the Assembly Secretary. Foreign Minister and Pakistan People's Party Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari inaugurated the much-awaited People's Intra-District Bus Service project today. The launch coincides with the fast-approaching second phase of the local government elections in Karachi. Around 240 air-conditioned buses imported from China will be plied on 7 routes in Karachi as part of the Inter-District Bus Project. However, it's still unclear whether the bus service would begin its commercial operations on all the 7 routes from today or not. The fate of the Rawalpindi Ring Road R3 project hangs in the balance as the Punjab government has started an inquiry into the new alignment of the road and the scandals that surfaced during the former Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government. An official of Planning and Development Department told Dawn that the contract of the ring road was awarded to Frontier Works organization during PTI's tenure, and 4 billion rupees were released for the project. However, a work road was not released and the government got back the released amount of 4 billion rupees from the Rawalpindi Development Authority last month. The Pakistan Stock Exchange benchmark KSE 100 index opened in the green on Monday, gaining over 600 points in early morning trade. The bourse witnessed an increase of over 450 points by 9:45 am. At 10:40 am, the index had reached 41,734.31 points, up by 683 points or 1.66%. The rally comes after the index crashed on Friday, losing over 2,000 points or 4.8% in the morning session following the government's announcement of a 10% super tax on large-scale industries. Troops in Sri Lanka handed tokens to people queuing for petrol amid a severe fuel shortage in the nation battling its worst economic crisis in 7 decades. While schools shut in Colombo and public employees were asked to work from home. With its foreign exchange reserves at a record low, the island nation of 22 million people is struggling to pay for essential imports of food, medicine, and most critically, fuel. Media advisor to Iran's top nuclear negotiator, Mohammad Marandi, says that Qatar will host indirect talks between Tehran and Washington in the coming days. The talks come amid a push by the European Union to break a months-long impasse in the negotiations to reinstate a 2015 nuclear pact. In March, the pact appeared close to being secured when the EU invited foreign ministers representing the Accords parties to Vienna to finalize an agreement after 11 months of indirect talks between Tehran and President Joe Biden's administration. But the talks have since been suspended. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has urged Western leaders to supply anti-aircraft defense systems to his embattled nation as Russian forces assaulted Lysychansk, the last big city still held by Ukrainian troops in eastern Luhansk province. Addressing the Group of 7 summit in the Bavarian Alps via video link, Zelensky also asked for help to export grain from Ukraine and for more sanctions on Russia. Pakistan leg spinner Yasir Shah is eager to represent the national side after nearly a year's gap when they tour Sri Lanka for a 2-match test series next month. The 36-year-old, whose previous appearance for Pakistan was against the West Indies in August last year, was included in the squad for the Sri Lanka series following 12 months of struggle with injury and fitness. Ranked a lowly 1,204th in the world and without a competitive singles match in 12 months, Serena Williams will sweep into Wimbledon targeting what would be her greatest triumph. The 7-time champion at the All England Club will also be chasing down a record-equaling 24th Grand Slam title at Wimbledon, where 8-time champion Roger Federer, the world's top 2 men's players as well as valuable ranking points, will all be missing. Karachi's COVID-19 positivity rate has crossed 22% amid concerns of a surge in cases. Muzaffarabad came in second with a positivity rate of 6.25%, followed by Naushera with 5%. The National Institute of Health said 13,412 COVID-19 samples were tested during the last 24 hours, out of which 382 came back positive, down from 406 a day earlier. The national positivity rate was recorded at 2.85%. as rains caused floods and landslides in several parts of the country and the temperatures dropped by about 15 degrees during the longest days of the year, expeditions wait to see whether this may affect climbing conditions in the mountains. Alpine Club of Pakistan says although mountaineers are no strangers to unusual weather in Pakistan's Karakoram range, they will have to include patience in their tactics, adding some wondered if the unpredictable Karakoram weather could be equally abnormal this summer season.